What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 14 of the Weekly Gridiron Season 2. I am back from my COVID hiatus. So is
Voice is
Luke.
a lot better.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
God. That was terrible. But we got through it, and we're here now. I'm after this, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch the last episode just to see how I sounded compared to this, because I bet it's terrible.
It was rough, man. It was rough.
I know. I remember you joining the thing and you were like, "You don't sound like yourself." I'm like, "No." Like, it's terrible. But anyways, as always, we're the guys. Adam,
Dante?
And Luke.
as always, here to talk some football with y'all. So let's get it going. I'll just quickly go over last week's fantasy leaders. I brought back the top 5 defenses and special teams. I know you guys miss that so much. So let's see who the top scorers were this week. Our top defenses and special teams. The top spot went to the Colts with 17 points. Then you had the Falcons with 16. Dolphins and Chargers tied with 14. The Texans with 12. The Jets with 11. And our honorable mention, Buccaneers with 8 points. And going on to the players, our honorable mention this week with about 26.66. We had the man himself, Jake Browning, the legend from the Bengals. 15, we had Michael Pittman Jr. with 27.5. 27.6, just above him. Christian Watson finally had a good game. 28.26 from Dak Prescott. 28.9 from Alvin Kamara. 29 on the dot from Sam Laporta, Lions tight end. Then we had Mike Evans' usual great game against the Panthers that he always has, 29.2. Got his 10th straight 1K yard season. Congrats to him. It's well-deserved. He's fantastic at what he does. Got to give high praise to Mike Evans. Number 9, 29.46 for Brock Purdy. Then 29.7 for Joe Mixon at that 8 spot. 29.96 in the 7 spot for Geno Smith. Had a great game on Thursday night. Unfortunately, they fell short, but had a great game nonetheless. 31.62 for Jamar Chase, just outside our top 5. And our top 5 scorers this week. 32.3 points for Tyreek Hill. 32.6 for CeeDee Lamb. 34.1 for Texans receiver Nico Collins. 35.8 for 49ers receiver Deebo Samuel, 49ers. And our leader this week with 37.4 and a loss on Thursday Night Football, the man went off. DK Metcalf for the Seahawks. I watched that game. That man went crazy.
Pretty good game, too.
Very good game. The primetime slate itself. Now, Sunday night, I barely watched because I got back to school. I was tired out of my mind. Went to bed early for class the next day. And, missed half of the Sunday night game. But Thursday night and Monday night, I watched both those games, pretty much the entire thing. And both games were great. Absolute bangers this week. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Which can kind of segue us into our recap for week 13. Kind of what we think about how we all did. I know Dante said he has some things he wants to talk about. Luke, I don't know how much else you can say. I don't know how much else I could say. If you don't mind, I'll start. I actually want to give some props to the Carolina Panthers for having a solid first week under Chris Tabor, the interim head coach. I mean, we lost 21-18, but stuck with the Buccaneers throughout the whole game. It was actually competitive football. Bryce Young made some nice throws. Really only had one mistake, one interception thrown. Chuba Hubbard had another fantastic game. It's looking like that man's going to be our RB1 going forward. I don't know what that means for Miles Sanders this offseason. It's really a shame that signing really hasn't worked out for us, but Chuba has always been underrated, and I've not really been able to talk about it because he hasn't proved much, but this year he's really starting to show it. And then, defense, they did enough. I mean, did their job. Came up just short, but it's fine. Mike Evans went off as always. Every single Panthers game against the Buccaneers. Like, I'm sure you guys have that one skill player that just dominates your team. Like, I'm sure Luke for the Patriots, maybe it's Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. I really don't know. But for us, it's Mike Evans. He always goes off against the Panthers, and he did on Sunday once again.
For us, it's
So,
it's Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon always has a great game
yeah.
against the Steelers.
I was
Always.
gonna say for QB before he retired, Drew Brees would always torch the Panthers, but now, I mean, Mike Evans getting up there in age, but still doing his thing against Carolina. Like I said, got his 10th straight season of at least 1,000 receiving yards, which is an incredible milestone, by the way. That's really hard to do. And I got to give my credit to Mike Evans, my props, because that's just incredible. You know, I mean, I have no hate toward Mike Evans. He's one of my favorite receivers in football, and huge props to the guy for keeping this up this long. He's a free agent, I think, this year, so it'll be interesting to see if he stays in Tampa Bay or goes elsewhere.
Well, I was going to say, as far as the Patriots go, we really always keep Tyreek Hill under wraps about as much as we can. Week 2, it must have been, Christian Gonzalez got a interception in coverage guarding Tyreek Hill. He had the clamps on him. What I will say is that Tua always beats us. Somehow he just always beats us. I'm pretty sure as a starter, Tua has never lost to Bill Belichick. So that's been over our heads for a long time.
Like I was going to say, you always have that QB or skill position player that always goes off against you. But, I mean, like I said, Panthers, props for a fine game. Maybe keep that up going forward. But my backup team, the 49ers. What a win against Philly on the road. Dante, you don't like me going off with the 49ers here, but man, also I got to show the
Beautiful
fans.
jersey.
This is Christian McCaffrey, best running back in football. Not even close.
Beautiful
But
jersey.
Thank you.
Jaylen
Yeah,
Warren's up there.
who'd you say?
Jaylen Warren.
He is good. I'll give him that. But yeah. Big win for the 49ers. I had to shout them out. But
That was an impressive win by them.
it was very impressive. And it really showed last year's NFC Championship would have been a lot different if Brock Purdy was in there. So,
Absolutely.
but I know you guys have some things you got to say and talk about our first game prediction of the week. So I'll let you guys take the floor. So
Luke, go ahead.
Yeah, what is there to say? A 6-0 loss where the 6 is 2 field goals. So there's the positive we went over last week where I mistakenly said 3 weeks in a row we had let up 10 or less points and lost all of those games. I was mistaken. It had only been 2 weeks in a row. Now it's 3 weeks in a row. And that's the only time that's ever happened in NFL history. I saw something on Instagram today. In whatever year it was, 2016, when the Browns went 0-16, whatever year it was, they averaged 14.6 points per game. This year's Patriots are averaging 13.2 points per game. So we have the offense of a winless football team, and that makes perfect sense to me. I'm trying to think of our 2 wins. The Jets we just snuck by, and the Bills, which was a complete outlier. That was just the Lord's mercy, knowing that he was about to inflict all hell upon the New England Patriots. So he was like, you can have this game. You can have this win over the Bills. With that being said, we've been just about as bad as any team in NFL history since. And there's not much left for me to do other than hope that continues. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Hopefully we can take this game against the Patriots, against the Steelers, not against the Patriots. Well, we basically do play against ourselves each week, actually. We keep ourselves from doing anything. So every game is basically the Patriots against Patriots, and we lose every single time. But as I said before, hopefully we can take this game against the Steelers. Hopefully we can do everything right, show some signs of promise out of Actually, there's no young players left on the team that I want to even see young signs of progress out of. Demario Douglas is still hurt. Now Ramondre Stevenson's probably out for the year. I don't even know what I want to see anymore. Hopefully the defense stands strong. Hopefully Dante, we can answer some questions for you guys. If Mitch Trubisky isn't going to be the answer, hopefully our defense can expose that.
Yeah.
I'll let our game be purposeful to you guys, but we're not going to win. I'm not going to pick us. Spoiler alert. If we win, I'm just going to be upset because at this point, we hold the number 2 pick in the draft thanks to the Cardinals beating the Steelers, which I'm sure you'll get into in a second. And I really don't want to slip any further. So, hey, let the crappy times roll because eventually it'll all seem worth it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say.
Great insight, Luke.
Yeah.
For my game, this was the most Pittsburgh Steelers loss I've ever witnessed in my life. We had a chance to be 8-4 and be a game behind the Ravens if we just beat the 2-10 Cardinals, and we couldn't even do that. Very ugly game. A lot of weather delays in this game. I think 2 that lasted a total of 2.5 hours, something like that. Game started at 1:00, finished up at like 4:30. Actually, no, not even. Like 5:30, 6:00 is whenever this game ended. Started at 1. Yeah, this game just started going downhill whenever Kenny got hurt. That was tough to see. I mean, he had a receiver open in Calvin Austin in the corner of the end zone. Decided to take it himself and run and hurt his already bad ankle. So that was not fun. James Conner, 25 carries, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whenever you give that up to a running back, you're not going to win. Bottom line, and whenever you give up 8 for 89 and a touchdown to Trey McBride, their tight end, you don't deserve to win. Trubisky wasn't bad. He was 11 for 17, 117 in a touchdown. Najee, 16 for 63. And GP, 4 receptions, 86 yards. But, Kenny was rolling. I mean, he was 7 for 10, 70 yards before he got hurt. Just about to score. Just an ugly game all around. I do think our offense looked better than it has in previous weeks, but very ugly win. Could have been 8-4. Now we're 7-5 and just scrapping at a wild card spot. So hopefully we turn it around this week against an also struggling Patriot team. So
Yeah,
I mean,
is a very kind way to put it.
I didn't want
I was gonna say, I'm still thinking positively for the Steelers. I mean, they're still in the number 5 wild card spot, even after that ugly week. Which, I mean, obviously you want to be in a better position, of course, but you still hold a top playoff position, the top wild card seed. As of right now, of course. Actually, I think that game would be in Jacksonville right now. I think I was gonna say it would be an Arrowhead, but I forgot that Jaguars lost Monday night.
Yeah.
So I mean, still a winnable game, but
I just want to get there. I just want to get in and see what happens from there.
Yeah, of course. I think you guys can still win this week and stay in the same position. I don't know if the division is still going to happen. I mean, I think it still can, but the Ravens continuing to win doesn't do you guys any favors. So
I mean, their schedule is tough and ours is not, but bottom line is we got to take care of business. And the Ravens, you can't never count on them on losing, The Ravens are in every game they play. But we just got to handle our business and eventually it'll pay off. And
that week 18 game for the sorry to interrupt you, the Ravens and Steelers end up being very important. It so will be.
Hopefully we have at least 10 wins before we get there. But
that would be nice. You guys are at 7 right now, right?
7-5, yeah. Then we got the Patriots this week. We got the Patriots and the Colts, which I'm nervous about that Colts game.
That is going to be a tough one.
But then we have the Bengals and Jake Browning again, which against our defense, I think we could win that. And then we have the Seahawks and then the Ravens. So, but the toughest games left.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Seattle, I was going to say, has started to quiet down a little bit, which could help you guys.
Yeah, but I'm also nervous about Levi Wallace versus DK Metcalf. So
And Seattle is a tough place to play.
it is,
Trust me.
yeah. But we just
This
got
time of
to
year, tough spot.
we just got to take care of our home games, But I'm not giving up on the Steelers like a lot of people are. They're still my team, and I'll
Oh,
still
yeah.
perform.
Yeah. No point in giving up yet. I mean, you're still over 500. You're still in the top wild card spot. You guys, I mean, yeah, it's messy right now, but there's
Yeah.
still hope in a playoff position. So, in my opinion, there's nothing to be worried about yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Get some wins if you can. This week is a great opportunity, even without Kenny Pickett, to get a win. So,
Yeah.
no offense, Luke.
No, you're right. And I was gonna say you guys have given yourself a cushion to figure it out. I think
Mhm.
messy is a good way to put it. But there are a lot of messy teams in the league right now. The Colts, don't forget, are still without their starting quarterback for the rest of the year. The Jaguars, is Trevor going to be hurt for how long? We don't know that. The Bengals, Browning looked good this week, I guess. But was that the system? Will that last? The Bills
Yeah,
have some stuff to figure out.
You can't count on Browning to be like that every week,
Yeah, the Browns are obviously going to have some problems at the quarterback position for the rest of the year. So no team in that wild card race is without a bit of a mess right now.
Mhm.
So you guys have given yourself a bit of a cushion, like Adam said. You're the top wild card seed still, and I think you'll figure it out in time. To piggyback off of a couple things I was saying earlier, I will break some news, Dante, to the extent of something I thought I had accurate, and I did have accurate. The Patriots just now officially ruled out Ramondre Stevenson, along with wide receivers Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte, and offensive tackle Riley Reef, who was one of our not bright. I mean, he wasn't one of the worst tackles we've had so far. He had shown some improvements, so
Makes me even more nervous, if I'm gonna be honest.
literally, wide receiver 1, probably Juju again. Wide receiver 2, Devontae Parker. Running back 1, Ezekiel Elliott. So in 2019, this would have looked scary. But nowadays, I'm not sure any of those guys, except for Zeke, belong on an NFL roster. So
you guys still got Gesicki and Hunter Henry. Can't forget about them.
That's true. Gesicki's been okay. Hunter Henry is old, reliable, but he only brings you so much.
Yeah.
He doesn't change a game. If you can't get the ball to him, he doesn't do much. So
I'm just worried about Judon and
Judon's still hurt.
Is he still hurt?
Still hurt.
Jesus. How long has he been out for?
A while.
My bad.
The only.
I'm not too knowledgeable of the Patriots right now. My apologies.
It's okay. I even struggle because half of our team is injured. One of the only bright spots on the defensive side of the again, the defense is playing good, but one of the biggest bright spots is Jabril Peppers. He's been great.
Mhm.
He's quickly become one of my favorite players. But as he said, I don't know if you guys saw this. You guys will have to excuse my French in a second, but verbatim, as he said, as he met Saquon Barkley after our game against the Giants, y'all are lucky we're ass. That's what he said to him after we lost on a game-losing field goal attempt. So that's pretty accurate. We're, for lack of a better word.
Judon. I mean, Pepper said
that. Yes, he said that.
Man.
Yeah. And I don't blame him. In fact, I laughed when I saw it, and I was like, "Yeah, that pretty much." So, y'all are lucky this week that we are bad. So, with all those injuries, which just keep piling on, there's 2 issues. We're not a good football team. We're not constructed good, but we're also getting injured like no other team right now. So, you guys, I know you keep saying you're worried, and I know it's because Mitch Trubisky, anything can happen, but I would go into it feeling more confident now, at least. I'll give you that much.
That's fair.
Speaking of which, we can go into next week's games. I think I've covered everything.
We want to predict week 14.
Let's do it.
We are crazy, almost done through the season. It's insane. Week 14. We have 2 teams on bye this week. Cardinals and Commanders, which means 30 teams are playing football this week. We have 15 games to go over. So let's get going. Thursday night, I mean, I'll let you guys have the floor. I'll be the last one to pick. You guys can talk a little more about this game if you want.
Well, Luke, you already gave your pick away, so if you want to
I
elaborate on
can
that a little
start
bit.
because I've already revealed that I'm picking the Steelers. In Pittsburgh, the weather's not going to be perfect because it's going to be cold, but that's how Pittsburgh likes it. That defense, you guys can probably win 2-0. Well, you're probably going to shut us out. I'd be surprised if we got any points because don't forget, for us, field goal range is like at the 15 in the red zone. So, which is fine. It's funny because if it wasn't like that, we might not have lost that game against the Giants. And it goes back to the conversation of wanting to lose. And it is what it is. So I'm going to pick the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Steelers also. I mean, if we don't win this game,
Please win this game.
I don't even want to think about it.
Cardinals don't play this week. We don't need to be kind to them when they don't play.
Man,
Because they were kind to us last week, so we jumped them. We jumped them in the draft order.
you know what, man? I'm not even going to be like, oh, the Steelers are so ass right now because last week was such a just shitty game all around. Horrible conditions, injuries all over the board. Starting quarterback gets put out within the first, quarter and a half. I mean, that was just an ugly game all around against a Cardinal team that took advantage of us real quick. And I think this game will be better for us. This is going to be a get back on track game, get to 8-5. Yeah, I think the Steelers got this one on lock. If we don't, there's really no hope for us the rest of the year. Adam?
Yeah, sorry, Luke. I got to go Steelers here. It's just
I need to apologize.
logical pick.
I'm sure Luke wants the Steelers to win this game.
Yeah, if I had to choose, I would not win this meaningless game. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. But so you picked the Steelers, Adam?
Yes.
Cool.
All right. Moving on to Sunday. We have the Texans and the Jets starting off the 1:00 slate. For the Jets, it was just announced today that Zach Wilson is now QB1 again.
Are you kidding me?
And I roll my eyes.
Give
Who
me Houston.
cares?
I'm just gonna write Houston.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah. And did you see the report that came out the other day that apparently he was like not even sure that he wanted to be QB1 again? Like it's like, oh no, please don't put me back out there. I'm scared. Didn't go exactly like that, I'm sure. But
He was enjoying his vacation.
yeah. Poor guy's getting thrown back into the fire. He's clearly not an NFL talent anymore. It's just funny to me.
Was he ever?
Yeah, I mean, you saw that pro day, that fooled everyone. So
True. Yeah.
it just
That's how pro days work. Yeah.
right. This continues to incriminate Robert Saleh for not being better prepared. He had this dream of signing Aaron Rodgers and redshirting Zach Wilson. But if your goal is to not have Zach Wilson play and you're going to rely on only your 39-year-old quarterback, you have to have a contingency. And maybe you thought Zach Wilson was good enough to be that guy, but now that you know he's not, you had to have signed Joe Flacco or Carson Wentz or somebody, and you didn't. So now you're back at square one. And that's what they get.
Classic
Cam
Jets.
Newton's doing nothing right now.
Classic Jets. Yeah, honestly, I'd like to see them sign Cam Newton.
I mean, he may not be great, but rather have Cam Newton than Zach Wilson.
Very true. Yeah.
I mean, just pick your poison, I guess. I don't know. But let's move on. So we're all going Texans. Easy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rams and Ravens in Baltimore. This one should be fun. Rams, I believe, are back at 500. They're 6-6 now. We're in a playoff spot for a short minute on Sunday before the Packers took that spot with their Sunday night win. But now they go to Baltimore. And to me, I know who I'm picking. This game is not hard to pick because there is one factor in this game that I'm thinking of, and that is Lamar Jackson dominates NFC opponents. It's just a known fact. It's a statistic. So I'm going with Baltimore. Plus, they're the better team. The Ravens are. So
I was
Yeah,
just,
that's not
yeah,
bad.
I was gonna pick Baltimore before I even remembered the NFC thing.
Yeah. It's very hard to pick against Baltimore, especially right now. This is the best team they've had in a long, long time. And if Lamar could keep it up, I don't see them losing, really. Anytime soon.
Yeah, they're on their way to being AFC North Division champions. That's for sure.
I just want to give a quick shout out to one of the most disappointing fantasy players this year, Cooper Kupp, who's averaging barely 10 points right now. And he's been back for like 5 weeks, so there's no more excuses.
It's crazy.
It's unfortunate.
That's even that bad.
Yeah. I traded Puka Nakua for him weeks and weeks ago, thinking that, surely that he'll get his targets back. I want to capitalize on Puka Nakua while I still can. And
That's a crazy trade. Puka for two.
There were a couple other guys thrown in there, but it certainly doesn't look too good for me right now.
Damn.
Rams are interesting.
Yeah, I could see the Rams winning this game, but
They're frisky, but I'm not sure that they're that much fun.
yeah, true.
All right. Moving on. I'm in a 49ers jersey, but I'll talk about my game. Carolina, New Orleans. Listen, both teams are absolutely embarrassing right now this year. Panthers have one win. Saints are just looking mediocre. Derek Carr looks terrible. Somebody has to win this game. And I think the Saints are going to be the ones to lock in and do it because, like it or not, I mean, in a good situation or not, you are still in the running for the NFC South, a division that gets you a playoff spot that is not that hard to win. So I think the Saints are going to keep that in mind this week and say, all right, we need to get ourselves back into this race here. Let's get a win against Carolina, something we should do. And you're welcome, Chicago Bears. We're going to help you out a little bit more. Help out the number one pick. I'm still happy we have Bryce Young. But, yeah, give me the Saints, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll take the Saints too. I mean, I'm not going to watch this game, just being straight up.
I don't expect you to watch this game.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm thinking about watching this game. But I am.
Yeah, give me the Saints as well. You had a good point, Adam. They're still in contention for the division. And I think this game could go to either team, honestly. But I'm not going to pick the Patriots. I'm not going to pick the Panthers while the Saints have something to play for. So
That's fair. Dante, did you see about the Steelers that Najee is questionable tomorrow and did not practice for the second straight day?
I did see that. I'm not too worried because Warren will just be getting extra touches. Plus, we have McFarland, who's kind of a speedster. If Najee can't go, so
True.
that's a good thing about having two solid running backs. But of course, I would love to have Najee.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. This is actually going to be a close game. I feel like could be our first disagreement. We have the Bengals and the Colts in Cincinnati. So.
This is
what
gonna
do
be
you
a
guys
good
think of this one?
I think I know who I'm going.
I know who I'm going
Go
to.
for it.
Or anyone can.
All right,
We'll
guys.
go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Cincy. I saw the numbers of how good they looked last week. Jake Browning was something like 32 for 37 with a couple hundred yards, and Jamar Chase certainly might have carried, but that's neither here nor there. T. Higgins is healthy again, and I believe in them at home. I think that maybe it is a system, but it's a credit to their coaching. And I think they're starting to figure something out, and they might rattle off a couple wins here and keep themselves in wild card contention. Whereas the Colts, they're fine and they're playing good right now, but I think they have a ceiling, and I don't think that they are going to be able to hang in all of these games that they need to hang in late in the season.
I'm going to go with the Colts. I think the Colts, I think they're just a better team than the Bengals are right now. I think Minshew is miles better than Jake Browning. I don't know. I'm just way more confident in the Colts. However, I do hope the Bengals win because if the Steelers win that game on the Colts for that wild card spot. But
Fair enough.
All right, I got to break a tie. I'm gonna go with the Colts on the road. I love what Gardner Minshew's doing right now. I love Michael Pittman, what he's doing right now. And he's in a playoff spot, which is crazy. I think I saw a video that I fully agree with. I think we have to start talking about Shane Steichen for Coach of the Year. He has had an incredible season, first year in Indianapolis coaching that team. I mean, nobody thought he was going to lead Anthony Richardson in that squad to a playoff spot, let alone Gardner Minshew, which, I mean, you probably should put Gardner in the comeback player of the year conversation, maybe. Well, no, he didn't have an injury. What am I thinking? Whatever.
Well, that
I'm talking
comeback
about
player of the
Jadon.
year award at this point can be interpreted so many different ways. So honestly, you have a point.
Okay. Well, I'm talking a bunch of nonsense, but I'm going with the Colts. So
What I will say is that you have a point about Shane Steichen, but I do think that D'Amico Ryans has the Coach of the Year award locked up.
that's fair.
Deservingly so.
Yeah, it's probably going to go to either one of those guys. I feel like whoever makes the playoffs, it could go to. So
yeah,
We'll see.
because I think only Indianapolis is in a playoff spot right now. I think Houston's right outside. So, speaking of that, well, let's move on. We have NFC South battle here again: Buccaneers and Falcons in Atlanta. Who are we going with, boys?
I'm going to go with the Bucks. I just think the Bucks are the better team. I know Atlanta has a better record at 6-6, but I don't know. The Bucks competed with the Texans, so I'm going to let that be my baseline. And the Falcons, like the Steelers, lost to the Cardinals. So I'm just throwing that out there. Give me the Bucks.
Yeah, it's a very unimpressive 6-6 for Atlanta. In fact, I'm surprised to hear that they're that good.
Yeah, true.
So I am going to pick the Bucks as well.
I am going to pick the Bucks as well. Clean sweep.
Easy enough.
Yeah. Jaguars and Browns in Cleveland. Keep in mind, possibly no Trevor Lawrence this game with that injury Monday night. No Christian Kirk
Might not
for
be
sure.
good.
It's already been ruled out.
That's right. I forgot
What'd
about
you I forgot about Lawrence. Okay. So it would be CJ Beathard against Joe Flacco
Oh, jeez.
or
Yeah,
DTR. He's good enough to
calling
go.
it a good game.
Give me the Browns. They're at home. I feel like they could win this game regardless.
What do you think, Dante?
I think. Wait, who's the Jags backup?
CJ Beathard.
Give me the Browns.
I am going to make it a clean sweep.
Defense is too good.
Joe Flacco looked good enough last week, and I don't know much about CJ Beathard. And without Christian Kirk, I definitely don't have a bunch of faith in Calvin Ridley. He's probably at the casinos right now betting on the Browns, so I'll take the same bet.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Final 1:00 game. We have the Lions taking on the Bears in Chicago. This game was really close last time.
Should be easy enough, but that Lions defense keeps only hanging on as much as they need to every week. Still, I'm already talking, so I can start. I'm going to pick the Lions. I'm going to have some faith in them, but they let us down on Thanksgiving, and that defense, like I just said, it needs to start to look better if they want to really compete with teams like the Eagles and the 49ers and the Cowboys. But this should be a get-right game, and it might not be, but I do still think that they're going to be able to pull it out.
So you picked, who'd you pick?
I picked the Lions.
Picked the Lions. Okay. Yeah, I'm also going with the Lions. I think this one's fairly easy.
Should be.
Yeah.
Hey, is it now? Upset of the week. Give me the Chicago Bears.
All right. Dante and I,
Oh.
let's get a game on Adam.
Okay.
What else is new?
Telling yourselves that.
Well, that for me, apparently he had a much better week than I did last week, but let's turn the tides.
I went 10-3 last week. Just saying. So did Dante, I believe.
You're already 0-1 this week, so.
Okay. Whoa.
We'll get to my 10 million IQ pick later, but
I'm looking forward to it.
Go ahead. When I lose by one pick at the end of the year, remind me about this pick I made for Chicago and Detroit.
I'm just talking about how I picked the Packers over the Chiefs. Everybody looked at me crazy.
That was
Oh, that. Oh my gosh, yeah. So much credit due. Yeah. Packers beat the Chiefs.
so
Jordan Love looking good.
He was rolling. And the Chiefs really couldn't do anything. But
Surprised me.
all right.
I was just thinking
Moving
about
into
you. Adam, you were saying at the end of the year we can remind you that you picked the Bears at one time. Who was the one team that Dante and I picked the Cardinals against, like week 2?
Cincinnati.
I thought it was Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That was good times. So you can practice with that just as fairly.
Yes.
And then the Cardinals beat my team, so that was my karma.
Yeah, they have some weird wins, but
They do. They beat the
Luckily-
Cowboys.
the Cowboys, the Falcons, and the Steelers, all teams 500 or over. So,
Yeah.
and they've
All right.
effectively lost themselves a top 2 pick because of that. So
Yeah.
let's hope that keeps form.
We're so
Moving
keen
in.
to get a Drake May.
We'll see. You guys know I have my guys, and I'd be okay with anybody in the top 3.
Yeah.
I really just want top 3, but hey, I'll definitely take top 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I
You
think
want to
this,
go to PM?
this next one's fairly easy.
I think Adam's tired of hearing us yap.
Sorry.
No, it's
stop
okay.
yapping.
Seattle and San Fran are next. I mean, you know who I'm picking. So
I mean, yeah.
San Fran.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, easy.
This one is an easy one. And San Francisco is going to continue their crazy run of finishing like 14-3. And this time they're going to go to the Super Bowl and win. I'm telling you right now, they are. They're going to do it.
We shall see. Just wait for playoff Mike Tomlin, and you guys will regret that.
All right. Okay. Second of the 2-4-05 games, we have Minnesota and Las Vegas in Vegas. Josh Dobbs against Aiden O'Connell. It has been confirmed Dobbs will be the starter for this game.
Justin Jefferson likely back, right?
Yes, he will be back this week. Finally, I can finally play him in fantasy. Thank
Right.
goodness. Traded for him like 2 months ago.
I think I know who I'm going.
Tough one.
Yeah, it
Go,
is. tough.
Dante, go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Okay.
I think just having Jefferson back is a big boost for them, so I like them.
I think I know who I'm going with too.
Go ahead, Adam.
I'll go with Minnesota as well.
All right, so will I. This game could go either way, but not to the extent that I feel the need to pick Vegas. So I'm gonna stick with my gut. I think the Vikings just have a much higher ceiling than the Raiders.
All right. Next game we got the Broncos and Chargers in LA. Now, thinking about this toward the beginning of the season, you guys probably would have thought this was a no-brainer. It still is, in my opinion, but not for the
Reversed.
side.
Maybe
we were
not in the way
thinking
we
about.
originally would have thought.
I'm going with the Broncos in this game. The Chargers look like a straight-up mess. And I know that's crazy to say after a win, but they won 6-0. Brandon Staley should not be a head coach. Quentin Johnston should not be an NFL wide receiver. I think that's being shown.
He certainly needs to reel in some of the passes he's getting hit in the hands on. I'm not sure that he shouldn't be an NFL wide receiver, but he certainly needs to show more.
Quentin Johnston should be the last TCU wide receiver taken in the first round of an NFL draft. That's for sure. Like Jalen Reagor ever worked out either. So
Current New England Patriot.
Ooh,
yes.
Who did he moss last year? Akello.
No, that's Nelson Aguilar, you're thinking.
Aguilar. My God.
Who would still be the current Patriots wide receiver 1. But
Yeah,
instead, Jalen
yes.
Reagor is our wide receiver 3.
I can't believe you guys said Aguilar and Jalen Reagor, 2 of the most memed on receivers in the league. That's crazy.
And 2 former Eagles.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
That's also true. We are bottom of the barrel right now, but we've already discussed that.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Broncos.
We got second. Denver, LA.
Broncos.
Denver.
Yeah. I think last week there are 30 football teams that beat the Chargers with only those 6 points they put up. Maybe even a couple more. Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, they probably beat the Chargers too. But the New England Patriots, not this time. I don't think the Broncos are going to let them get away with anything like that. And they'll probably bounce back a little bit, but counting down the days until hopefully Brandon Staley is fired. Who knows when it'll come, but he definitely deserves it. Free
Right.
Justin Herbert. Give me the Broncos.
Yep.
Okay. Final 4 p.m. game. This is going to be a good one. Playoff rematch, rivalry game, you can call it. Bills and Chiefs in Kansas City. Do we know who we're going with, boys? I know who I'm going with.
I know who I'm going with.
You go, Adam.
I know. Let's let Dante start.
Does he know who he's picking?
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills.
Why did I know
saw
you
that
were
one
gonna
coming
pick
from a mile away?
Buffalo Bills, man. You know?
See, this is why I wanted Dante to go first, because I knew he was picking the Buffalo Bills.
How'd you
And
know?
if I can guess correctly, Luke and I are picking the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I just remember that one time last year where you said Josh Allen was better than Mahomes, and I was like,
I never said that.
I
said that?
swear there was one time you said that. I
I-
promise you there was one time you said that.
I am eating my words. I don't think I have. If I said that, I was a
Maybe
more.
maybe you were kidding.
I just think.
I don't know. This pick screams you. I don't know.
Yeah, the Bills put up 34 on the road against the Eagles last week, and I think the Eagles are a better team than the Chiefs. Bills offense is playing better than the Chiefs right now. Bills defense is playing better than the Chiefs right now. Give me the Bills.
Well, you're a good salesman, but I'm still picking the Chiefs.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll get
Just
another game
kidding,
winning
man.
this week. If I'm right about this, oh
Yeah.
my God.
You could be. The Bills seem to beat the Chiefs in the regular season.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it could be that classic. Beat them in the regular season. Well, the Bills have to make the playoffs first before it becomes the classic. Beat them in the regular season, losing the playoffs. So because of that, I won't give them the benefit of the doubt. They have to prove it to me, and I don't think it's going to start this week.
Okay. Sunday night football. This should be the game of the week. Eagles, Cowboys in Dallas. It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely the game of the week.
Dak Prescott is playing out of his mind right now.
He's my MVP.
He's probably
That's
my
fair.
MVP too. He's playing some good football.
Yeah,
But
tough to say, but
I can't say I've seen the Cowboys beat a really good team yet. Seahawks are a good offense, not a great team. Not the Eagles, certainly. So, for that reason, give me Philadelphia on the road. They need a bounce back win. This is going to be a huge bounce back win.
Luke?
I haven't picked yet. So if you know, go, or we just need more time.
I know. I'm going Cowboys.
Why did I know you were going Cowboys?
Because Eagles and
I
Chiefs
just
are
read
both
your mind.
losses.
Twice.
The Cowboys are just unreal at home, and Dak's just he's better than Hurts right now. I'm sorry. He is.
Oh, that's true, of course, but
That's why I'm thinking Cowboys. But then again, the Eagles, they are gonna be pissed off. They just got bulldozed by the 49ers. They definitely don't want that to happen 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, what a tough break for the Eagles. Having to play the Niners and Cowboys back to back. That sucks.
This is really flip of a coin. But my gut says Dallas.
Yeah.
Listen to my gut. I'm surprised in picking against the Eagles because I'm really buying into the fact that I'm sure they do not want 2 really bad losses in a row. But
Hold on. Can I read this for a second? If this
Yeah.
was 2021, this stretch of Eagles opponents would have been probably the toughest of all time. They played the Cowboys, then the Chiefs, then the Bills, and the Niners, and then the Cowboys again. Like that's just absurd. Holy
uh,
shit.
talk about a gauntlet.
For real.
Yeah, I don't know. The Cowboys are just they're playing different right now. And
Yeah.
they're funny. They just live their own little universe where they can beat up on some teams like embarrassingly. They'll have random 40-point victories and then they'll have their close victories or they'll just get embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's 2 sides of the same coin, but I definitely don't think they're going to get embarrassed this week. That means they'll probably win. So give me the Cowboys.
Should be a great game.
It should be.
well, I just want to say before we move on, do you guys remember the last time you both picked against the Eagles and I picked them?
Mm-mm.
No.
Monday night, Eagles Chiefs.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that Dante
Yeah.
was going to pick the Eagles
Mm.
that time. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Forget.
Go ahead. Take that.
See if it happens again. I'm glad they ride with the Eagles in this one. So we'll see. All right. We have 2 Monday night games this week.
And
Both
I
at the
think they're
same
both
time.
I think they're both fairly easy to pick.
And they are, yes, both fairly easy to pick. The first one is the Packers and Giants in New York. I believe I know we're all going Green Bay.
Yes.
That would be correct. They're on a roll. They're looking better than they have in a long time.
Oh, yeah, they look good. Then
probably
we
make the
have the
playoffs.
Titans and Dolphins in Miami. Dolphins.
Yes.
This could be an upset, but I don't think it will be. Dolphins.
That's one team that really hasn't struggled injury wise. Maybe
Right,
besides
they really haven't. Once they got Jalen Ramsey back, it's been smooth sailing.
yeah, they had Waddle out for a little bit. Didn't
And
they?
you might be thinking of A-Chain. Devon A-Chain was out for a while, but he's back.
I could have thought Waddle was out. Anyway, but
Maybe he missed a game or two. Yeah, I think he might have.
but outside of that, yeah, they've been pretty healthy all year.
Yeah, they definitely haven't been bit by the bug yet.
Yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It might be coming.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. That just about does it for
Nice.
this episode.
Cool.
Speaking of the
Another good one in the
Dolphins,
books.
I will make a quick note. I think if I had to pick right now, my MVP might be Tyreek Hill.
Very fair. Very deserving.
He is that
Yeah.
team. He's about to have the first ever 2,000-yard season for a wide receiver.
That's incredibly fair.
Even if he does do it, I would love to see him win it. I don't think he will though. Just because
I don't
it's such
think he
a
will either.
quarterback-based award.
It is a quarterback award, but if there were ever a year, Jalen Hurts down year, Patrick Mahomes down year, Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy, that's where you're going to throw up there. They've both been good on really good teams. But there's no reason to discredit Tyreek Hill and to not consider him. And I think he's as deserving as anybody else. I would go as far as to say the same for Christian McCaffrey, but probably not quite as much as Tyreek Hill.
When's the last time position player, not a quarterback, won it?
Probably Adrian
Peterson? Adrian Peterson?
Probably. It's been about a decade.
Yeah. Damn. And he's having arguably a better season than AP had whenever he won it.
Incredibly dominant.
Yeah, unreal.
Well, I don't think it's going to change this year for the Heisman, I should say. You guys have some early Heisman predictions? I think that's getting revealed this weekend.
I'm really rooting for Marvin Harrison.
I am too. He's probably not going to win.
It'd be cool, but I don't think he's going to win it. I think it'll be Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I
never want to be Harrison, though. I think he's, without a doubt, the best player in college football.
But I think he is the best player in college football. But imagine if he had one of the other Heisman candidates throwing to him. Then he would probably be the Heisman. But
I think that even proves more that he's the best.
Fair enough. Yeah. But I think it'll be Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
LSU.
Okay. What do you guys think about Florida State getting robbed?
That's a good question.
So
saw it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, it was expected, but I think they should have got in.
Yeah, I do think they should have gotten in. Do I think that the four best teams are in the playoffs? No, I actually think Georgia is probably still one of the four best teams. I'm not sure how you could be the number one team for 3 years in a row when one loss makes you number 6. I still think, I get them being out, but I still think Georgia is probably one of the best 4 teams in the nation. But I also do not think that Florida State is. So I will say that the committee, their reasons, as unfair as they may be, are correct. But a Power 5 school going 13-0, they deserve it.
Winning their conference. I mean, it's like
I just want to emphasize that this is basically, if you remember the first year of the playoff, the year Ohio State won the national championship. Ohio State was basically Florida State right now. They went into the year with Braxton Miller, QB1, out for the year. JT Barrett had to do the thing the whole year, got hurt in the game against Michigan, which left QB3 Cardale Jones to go out there for the Big Ten championship in the playoffs, and he won us a natty. So it's been done. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, Florida State probably would have lost to Michigan, but I will say Bama's probably your better team right now. Here's what you should do if you really want to see, have Bama and Florida State play each other right now and see who wins that game.
Tiebreaker game? Holy shit. Winner gets into the playoff? That'd be insane.
It does serve Michigan right. I think Alabama will smoke them. So
yeah.
That'll be fun.
Do the playoff, all the bowl games, then be like, all right, experiment here. Say, okay, if we were still wrong, say for some reason Alabama lost the national championship to Washington, aka my prediction. Say, just for fun, for no reason, Alabama, Florida State random scrimmage. Just see who wins. See if we messed up or see if we made the right choice. Alabama wins, we made the right choice. Florida State wins. Maybe should have considered FSU. But I guess they made the right decision. I mean,
I just really want Florida State to beat Georgia in their bowl game. I just think that would be so funny.
That would be funny. Yeah.
It would be, yeah.
Beat them more convincingly than Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will just make a quick mention of, not to interrupt you, Adam, but if this were 1 year into the future and the 12-team playoff was already implemented, it would be 10-seed Penn State at 7-seed Ohio State. That would be sweet.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I think we'd lose, but what a fun game.
I think so too, but we have a new offensive coordinator, so
yeah, we haven't seen yet.
Might be some life in these old legs. Who knows?
True. I just hope we get there next year.
Yeah, we'll see. I certainly think we'll be in the playoffs next year with it being 12 teams.
Yeah, sure. All right, fellas.
Yeah.
Is that gonna do it for us?
Yep, good
right.
stuff all around.
Yes, sir.
We'll catch y'all next time. This is Adam
Dante,
And Luke.
peace out.
now. Catch y'all.